YouTube, Chris Bumstead is currently looking crazy. Now, if you've been following up with what's going on with Chris Bumstead's situation, is he is competing back again, right? Literally only, I don't know, we're like 2, 3 weeks off of the Olympia right now. And I think it was like a week after the Olympia, he announced that he's going open bodybuilding. Now, is this for good? Probably not, right? He said he's just getting ready to do this one meet. He'd like to win this one meet. And originally, when I heard this come out, I was like, dude, there's no way, right? Like he'll never fill it, right? He's got more of like a classic physique look, exactly being classic physique, Mr. Olympia, but he looks more like classic. Like there's no way he could ever like puff up like that. That was my opinion, right? And I talked with a lot of people who also agreed with that opinion. But the recent footage that just came out of Chris Bumstead has just blown me away. So we're just going to go over that. We're going to see what Greg Doucette has to say about this. And yeah, so he posted this video, which I found pretty interesting. This was 6 weeks out of the Olympia. He looks big in this, right? So keep in mind, he has to cut down for the Olympia. For the classic physique, he needs to be extremely cut to make weight class, whatever. When he's in the open now, he's able to go whatever weight he wants, right? He could walk around, weigh whatever. And when Chris Bumstead posted this video right here is when my opinion completely changed. Check this out. I was like, are you kidding me? Look at the sheer size of his arms. He must be up 20 pounds, probably 20 pounds, 10, 15 pounds minimum from when he competed. And the fact that it just straight went to his arms, it looks like, and the rest of his physique, just making him puff out wider, makes him possibly potentially a real threat in the open bodybuilding category. Now, that's probably not what he's going to do, right? As he said he's retired, he said he's done, he's getting older. It would require a lot of steroids too, right? He's just had a kid. He probably wants to be healthy for his kid, live through his kid's life, blasting a lot of steroids after the past like 10 years probably being on them already. That probably wouldn't be the best thing for him. But if he did choose to do this, I think that he could stack up really good. If we pull up Samson Duda, 2024 Mr. Olympia winner, obviously it's different. This is on stage. This is Chris Bumstead in the gym. But if you just look at arm, right? I mean, there's just some pictures of him. I'm not sure how close out he was in this. But honestly, Chris Bumstead's arms look better than Samson Duda's in this. I would say that, right? Now, obviously, your arms don't win everything. There's so much more to it. But just looking at how Chris's arms have just blown up in this short period of time, I really do believe that he could be a threat to the open bodybuilding. And now if we go over to his video right here, watching him take off his pump covered shirt, he looks fuller than ever. And honestly, I would say probably better than ever, right? If you're not comparing a classic physique. Take a look at this.
He chopped his hair off. It's a fucking mess. Dope shirt, Jim.
I mean, look at this dude's arms. He doesn't even look real in this. He literally doesn't even look real. They look like somebody took Chris Bumstead and puffed Chris Bumstead up, right? If we go back over to his Instagram here and we go to when he was on stage, right? I mean, he looks not thin. He looks great, obviously. But he looks literally probably 30 pounds lighter. Now, obviously, he's probably not 30 pounds lighter here, but you're looking at this and you would think that it would take maybe like a year, maybe not a year, but like 6 good months from him to go from this to this.
Shark made though. I don't even know if they're selling it.
I mean, that's crazy, right? The fact that he was able to transfer from this to that physique that we just saw in literally, like 2.5 weeks is unbelievable. But Greg Doucette seems to have a little bit of a different opinion, so we're going to listen to that right now.
215 should be full of the fucking house. Maybe sacrifice a little bit of conditioning, a little bit of dryness. It'll be fun.
And so he still wants to compete with close to the same conditioning, but of course, with a lot more muscle size if possible. And so how do I think he's going to do in this competition?
So here we go.
My personal
Let's see it,
opinion
Greg.
is C-Bum would even beat Sean Clarida when he was at his best. I do believe that C-Bum is close to as good as Regan Grimes if they were to compete in open. Some people feel that C-Bum could be a top 3 competitor in the Mr. Olympia.
So this part's really important. Listen to this part. Greg spits facts here.
Maybe if he put on 20 or 30 pounds of muscle, but with his current size, or let's add on even 10 pounds more muscle, he's still not big enough. Now, many are going to argue that he should be the open class Mr. Olympia. Many people even think that he's the Mr. Olympia. They don't realize there are several different weight categories, there are different divisions, and so when they say, name the Mr. Olympia champion, they name C-Bum. C-Bum has over 25...
So basically what he said in that is Chris Bumstead still has a lot to go. Looking at this picture right here, he'd say that he needs to eat his 20 pounds back, and he'd need another 20 to 30 pounds. And anybody out there saying, oh, Greg's an idiot, Greg doesn't know what he's talking about, keep in mind, Greg Doucette has a master's in something. It's like body something, right? So he's actually... Greg Doucette's very smart. Greg Doucette's been an IFBB pro himself. And so if there's anybody that actually could probably accurately tell what has to happen for C-Bum to become an open champion, I would say it's Greg. But honestly, I could see, if he wanted to follow along this path, I could so see it happening. If we go on with this video, right, so he's just doing curls right here. Compare his arm. Just take a look at his arm for a second here. So, right, this is from a day ago. Compare his arm to Mr. Olympia stage arm. It literally looks like maybe 1.5 times the size. I'm not even sure, right? He looks insane. And so, could he win this Olympia Open? Maybe if you give it a run. A lot of people, like Greg said, top 3. I could see him placing top 3. I could see that happening. But Greg also says in the same video, I'd have to look through and find it. Greg also says he needs to blast a lot more steroids. And as you can see right here with his child, I'm not sure if that's something that he would want to do, right? Steroids, still, as great as a doctors he's probably going to, and as much help as he's receiving, they're still not exactly safe. Steroids are not exactly safe. So would this be something that Chris Bumstead wants to do, hop on all these steroids so he can have a chance of winning the Olympia? Once again, I don't know. I feel like the guy's pretty accomplished with 6x Olympia. But I do think that we could see him going to some open bodybuilding contests every now and then. And I do think that maybe if he's not running back at the Olympia, he may do another Classic Physique show again in the future. Because as we've seen with so many people in strength sports, I mean, especially powerlifting, right? Powerlifters say they're going to retire every single day, and they're going to go do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then they're back powerlifting 3 months later, right? Like, being real, nobody really quits. Like, in a sport like this where it's, like, just such an obsession, nobody really quits, right? So I could definitely see Chris Bumstead continuing maybe a few open bodybuilding contests, a few Classic Physiques, but who knows if he's going back for the Olympia or not. Probably not, right? He announced his retirement. Probably not. Probably not going to go to the Open Olympia either, because just for, like, the reasons I stated. It'd be different if he didn't have a wife, a kid, stuff like that, but he does. So other things for him probably to focus on now, but regardless, super impressive physique. I had to make a video on this because I just thought that this was insane. Looking at Chris Bumstead just puffed up, right? It's like this almost looks AI generated. You can't tell me that this video doesn't almost look AI generated. His veins don't even look real in this, right? So super impressive for him. Good luck to him when he goes up to his meet. I'll be sure to make a video to see how he does, recap, whatever, compare, contrast. But go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next. Until next time, Blake, signing out.